I'm going to make a video today in response to Evidence's last video on evidentialism. This is going to expound a little bit on that. The title of this video is obviously Evidentialism and the Weight of Evidence. Evidentialism depends almost solely on the weight of evidence provided, other than the number of instances of evidence provided. The weight of evidence must be equal to the claims made. If the weight of evidence is less than the weight of the claim, then we can discard the claim and seek a claim based on the weight of the evidence. The same holds true if the weight of the evidence is larger than the claim being made, meaning there is more that exists than the claim itself makes. An example of this is Darwinian evolution compared to what we understand today as evolution, with the new evidence spectrum of DNA. This is why evidence for a claim that is already equal will change our understanding of the claim being made and reveals that there is more to understand than previously thought, and why new evidence for a claim that had less weight of evidence may revive a claim while normally changing the parameters of the claim itself. An example of this is the cosmological constant, but we do not call it that now, as the evidence has shed light on new information that was not available when the cosmological constant idea was formed. The idea of the repulsive force is the same, but the mathematical and spectral observations show that it does not keep the universe in an unchanging state, so we've renamed it the force dark energy for the lack of a better term, as we do not know the causation of this force because of lack of data. I will now pose a hypothetical, so philosophers may understand the scientific understanding of evidence and the weight of evidence, for those who don't understand it and how it is applicable, and I will use an appropriate hypothetical in light of this discussion. A man poses to me that God is all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving, everywhere, and the creator of the universe. And to lend credence to his argument, he says he will pray to his God to perform a miracle of creating a chicken out of nothing. So he does his prayer, and amazingly the chicken pops into existence. Upon this evidence, he says it validates his claim. So I retort by saying, just because the laws of physics have been broken by this example does not equate to the claims he has made. So, a little bit frustrated, he poses that he will pray for 1 billion chickens to pop into existence. He does his prayer, and in my amazement, 1 billion chickens pop into existence before my very eyes. The initial spectacle takes me aback, but given a moment to recollect my thoughts and weigh the evidence to his claims, I conclude that the evidence is still insufficient, because the same miracle was just repeated 1 billion times and has no more weight of evidence than the initial miracle itself. So I also explained to him that he is only trying to validate 2 of his claims. That God is the creator of the universe and God's omnipotence. And the evidence he has given does not have enough weight to sufficiently equal those 2 claims. Completely frustrated with my disbelief on the weight of his evidence, even with the miracle being repeated 1 billion times, and also increasing his frustration that I say he is only trying to validate 2 of his claims and not all of them, he asked me what evidence and of what weight would I need to be a believer on God on just those 2 premises of God being the creator of the universe and being omnipotent. So I explained to him that God would not only have to create an entirely separate universe, but he would have to expand my senses, my awareness, and the capacity of my mind to grasp the scope of what my newly expanded senses are telling me. And also he would have to, in some way, ensure that my senses could not lie to me, and that my senses could not fail me. That would be enough evidence to validate those two claims. But he would still have all his work ahead of him to propose with sufficient weight of evidence. The other three claims he has made to describe the properties of his God are true with any level of certainty. To validate the entirety of his claims about his God would have to make me completely equal to his God for me to even be able to understand the weight of the evidence that I was experiencing. And that I could experience it multiple times, and only that would equal the claims he was making. In conclusion, he must, in the fact that he must pray to his God to present enough weight of evidence to show that his God is, let me rephrase that. The fact that he must pray to show enough weight of evidence shows that his God is not omniscient, omnipresent, or omnipotent, because all of this would have been predetermined beforehand, and his God would have done what was needed as we engaged in this conversation, as he was clearly trying to validate himself, the God. And the harshness of the universe itself begets that his God is most likely not all-loving, if he was indeed the creator. So in closing, the weight of the evidence given was not equal to the claims being made. I have never seen or heard of a theist who could even show that their God could make a chicken pop into existence, let alone present any other evidence of their claims. In this conclusion, I present the core of evidentialism, that our claims must equal the truth of reality, or discard those claims, and seek those that do represent our reality, the reality. The reality must be able to be observed and tested outside our own senses by others and or instruments, and must be repeatable. Logic and mathematics are derived from the equivocation of the observable and testable reality. But philosophical understanding must play a role in the weighing of our evidence, lest we accept the single miracle repeated 1 billion times to make a statement true. This is Darkanis, signing off, saying, do your research always. And don't believe anything until you have seen the data for yourself, revised it, and done the calculations if applicable.